Hey everyone, in this video I'm gonna share with you an MCP server that you must use if you're a software developer, because this MCP server is going to keep your language models up to date with the latest documentations. And this MCP server has more than 10,000 libraries inside of it. So let's go to the screen to see it in action. Okay, here I'm having a Windsurf on the screen because I use Windsurf, and you can use any IDE that you prefer. So now I'm going to the website of this Context7 MCP server, and as you can see here, this MCP server has 10,476 libraries at the moment, and it is going to update. It is updating it all the time. So you can see that 4 hours ago, Next.js was updated, and you can search for your own libraries. In my case, Angular here, and we can see that it has been updated. It was updated 4 days ago. So we can click here on the Angular, and we see the documentations here, and we can search, for example, for routes here, and we can see the documentation specifically for routes, and we can see it in action here. Okay, now we can see the MCP server GitHub page here, and actually, why are we using the MCP server and what is it actually solving here? So language models rely on outdated or generic information, and the code examples are outdated, hallucinated APIs that don't exist, and generic answers for old package versions. And now with Context7, we got the all updates, all documentations for the libraries, and this is solving the issue with the hallucinations and the examples that are outdated. So to use it, it is easy. Create a basic Next.js project, for example, here, and we just have to add use Context7. So this is it. Now, when it comes to installation, you can install it on a lot of IDEs, or even in cloud for desktop, or any other tools that you're using, even for Docker. And now I'm going to use the configuration for a Windsurf here. I'm just going to copy this configuration. You can use your VS Code or a cursor, but I'm going to the Windsurf here, and here in the Windsurf, actually we can see that this hammer here, it is actually MCP servers. When click on it, it is showing that we have nothing here, but when we click on the configure, it is going to open this plugin. So for some reason, just let me refresh, because I was testing the MCP before this video. Of course, I have to be prepared. And now I'm going to add it again. So we don't have it here, and we are going to use raw configuration. Before doing that, there's an option to install more MCP servers here. So if you click here, you're going to get the plugin store actually, and you can find any other MCP servers to use and install with one click. But now we're just going to add the raw configuration here, and we're just going to paste that config file that we copied from the Context7 GitHub. So this is it. Close it, and now click refresh here, or you can click refresh here, doesn't matter, it's the same. And then after that, we're gonna see the Context7 with 2 tools here. So that means that it has been created and updated here, and we can use it or configure it with our code here. So to use it, we're gonna use some prompt here. Okay, I'm gonna say inside pages. As this is a project that I used in the past video, it is an Angular application, and we have pages, we have some shared components, and also to mention, as I was mentioning that, I mentioned that in the past video actually, we have a configuration inside of Windsurf. So this is a really powerful thing. We have rules here, and also you could update your style guide or the rules here to use Context7 all the time. So you can say, okay, always use Context7. And you don't have to think about it and to add it later on. So for now, I'm just gonna send a prompt here inside of pages, generate a new page with a list of the most popular posts, not some data, and match the style that we have in the author's this page. And now use Context7. So hit enter. Now we're gonna see what is it going to do. So it is telling us how is it proceeding. So researching current authors list, create new page, okay, use shared header, okay, manage all imports, identify here. Let's wait for it to analyze the things that we have here. As I added some rules previously to use like these shared folders and shared headers here inside of this. So it was in the last video. So whenever creating a use header component from shared folder and so on and so on. And that's the reason why is it actually checking these and adding headers and updating the routes there. So we're gonna see in the pages we have a most popular articles and it's still doing the things. We see that it's running. It is now analyzing navbar, editing the app routes for as well for us, and then let's gonna see it. Okay, enter complete. Okay, waiting. Okay, it is also suggesting as I have a commit messages style guides to add and commit everything, but I'm not gonna commit anything at the moment. So let's gonna see the files that we got here there. So here, okay, we have a component. So it is using the same style from our app component, and we use that style inside of the authors list component. We're gonna accept this for now, and we're gonna go to the so we can see that in the popular articles, it used app header that we instructed, ng4 that post of posts, most popular components. Okay, we see post interface here, standalone components flag, even we don't need this anymore, but they use it. And we see the most popular articles, accept the changes, up routes has been updated. It's fine. And now we can see the navbar component also updated. And that's it. We can just run this, see the changes in our browser here. Okay, we see that this is the page we used in the past video. So authors, we have this, and this is the one it created. So we can see the authors list, most popular article, and everything here. So it is for sure helping our AI tools and chats and language models to use the latest technologies and latest documentations here. So this is just a testing video and testing for the testing purposes here, and you can use it and test it with your own libraries. But the thing is that you have to use it because it will keep the best practices and the latest documentations there. So I hope the video was helpful to you, and if you liked it, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next one. Bye.